Every tissue, every organ, every cell in our bodies requires oxygen. So how we get that oxygen into our bodies and how we exhale everything that's left over, specifically carbon dioxide, makes such a huge difference to our athletic ability, to our sleep, to our ability to focus, to stress, and to lifespan. So you can't have proper health without having proper breathing. If you go into the wild and look at any other animal beyond modern humans, what will you find? You will find that they all habitually breathe out of their noses. Some species of dogs, like bulldogs or pugs, have been bred to have a very flat face, so they can have some chronic respiratory problems, just like humans. We share the same face as these interbred dogs. So what this means is that we become divorced from nasal breathing. But why is that important? If you were to cut my head in half, or just to look at it with an x-ray, which is something I've done, you would see that the nasal cavity is like this labyrinth of different structures. So when we take air through the nose, we force this air through this maze of different tissues and different bones, where that air is heated, it's pressurized, it's moistened, and it's conditioned so that by the time it gets to our lungs can absorb about 20% more oxygen breathing through our noses than equivalent breaths through our mouths. If you think that's not going to make a difference to your health throughout the day, and especially during athletic performance, you're crazy. It makes an incredible difference. So it's easier to talk about nasal breathing and all the benefits than to actually do it, especially when you're jogging or playing football or doing really intense exercise. So many of us are conditioned to be mouth breathers, so that when we convert to nasal breathing, it's miserable. It can take athletes weeks or even several months to be able to go back to their same level of performance once they condition to nasal breathing. But once you get there, once you condition yourself, you are able to conserve so much more energy and exert the same amount of effort. And for an athlete, that's what it's all about. Breathing through your nose is efficient. Breathing through the mouth isn't. That doesn't mean you can't accomplish many things breathing through the mouth. You can, but you will conserve more energy and then have that energy to push harder for longer if you convert to nasal breathing. It's just not very easy. A lot of people give up after a couple of days, but for those who have stuck with it, the science is very clear that it can have pronounced effects for athletic performance and recovery. Right now, if you were to exhale and hold your breath, that need to breathe is not dictated by oxygen levels. It's dictated by rising levels of carbon dioxide. So when you feel that you need to breathe because your oxygen levels are low, what's actually happening is your carbon dioxide levels are rising. And you can look at your blood oxygen levels with a pulse oximeter, and you'll notice when you're working out, very likely your oxygen levels aren't moving at all. It's your levels of carbon dioxide are going up. We know from several scientific studies that athletes who are able to tolerate more carbon dioxide have better athletic performance. The reason is you need carbon dioxide for oxygen to detach from red blood cells and deliver fuel to the hungry cells in your body. It's a little complicated, the biochemistry here is, but what this means is that slower breathing, controlling your breathing and breathing through your nose allows you to tolerate higher levels of carbon dioxide, which then allow you to have more oxygen. And this can greatly reduce inflammation as well and lactate, which is why recovery for people who become obligate nasal breathers is usually a lot easier.